Today we are going to begin the fourth chapter of geography, that is natural vegetation and wildlife. So, if you take natural vegetation, it includes plants, trees, grasses, aquatic vegetations, and other types of forests and tundra vegetations. Everything were included in the natural vegetation. And if you take wildlife, it includes all types of animals, birds, insects, fishes, and other type of aquatic life forms. Everything were included in this wildlife. So in this chapter, we are going to learn detailing about the natural vegetation and wildlife. The first topic here we are having it is types of forests. Basically, we are having three types of forests. That is tropical hardwood forest, temperate hardwood forest, and coniferous forest. The first one is tropical hardwood forest. It is the evergreen forest which is present in the equatorial region where the rainfall is very high. And in this category, the tropical monsoon forest is also included. This evergreen forest, they never used to shed their leaves, but the tropical monsoon forest, they used to shed their leaf in the dry season and they used to regrow it in the rainy season. And this tropical hardwood forest are producing a high quality hardwood which is having a very good commercial value. And the woods varieties were like teak, ebony, and mahogany. And next one, temperate hardwood forest. These temperate hardwood forests are present in the area where the temperature is moderate and the rainfall is moderate. And here, the trees used to shed their leaves in the autumn and they used to regrow it after the winter falls. And it is also producing a very great variety of woods like oak, ashes, beech, and maple. And next one, it is coniferous forest. The coniferous forest is otherwise called as taiga forest. It is present in the cold temperate zone. And here the summer will be warmer and the winter will be cooler. So the plantation, the vegetation which is present in this area, they are capable of surviving both the cold and drought condition. And the trees which are present here, they used to grow straight and tall up to the height of 30 meters of height. And it used to have a needle-like leaves which actually limits the transpiration and avoid water to evaporate from the leaves. And it is also having cone-like seeds, and it is producing very good quality of woods like fir, pine, spruce, cedar, and the most commercial value species which is present in this area that are pines. So we are having white pine, Scots pine, and uh, lodge pole pine. So all these trees are having a very good commercial value. We get different types of product from the forest like swanwood, rubber, tannin, fruits, nuts, spices, playwoods, gums, resins, palms, creeper products, fiber bonds, crocs, medical plants, and etc. We are having plenty of useful things what we are getting from the natural vegetation, that is forest. Next topic, it is conservation of forest. If you take biosphere, biosphere is called as a zone of life because it actually comprises the lithosphere, that is the earth surface, earth outermost layer, the lithosphere. It is having hydrosphere, that is water body, and atmosphere, the air. All the three things are present in the biosphere. That is why we call it as a zone of the life. And so in this, forest is an essential component of biosphere, and the forest is helping us to maintain the ecological balance, and it reduces the air pollution. It provides habitat for the wildlife. It checks the soil erosion and flood. It gives many products, and so it became a source of material for the human utilization. And but we used to clear the forest for the purpose of agriculture, building homes, building industries, and which is leading to the depletion of the forest. So the need of the hour is we have to conserve the forest. For that, we have to do more afforestation. So when we are going to cut timbers in an area, we have to replant those timbers with small saplings, which is capable of growing very faster and giving a very good variety of timber. And also the areas which are not having forest cover, we can introduce new type of species in that area, we can plant new trees in that area, we can build or construct more forests, so in those areas. And next one, forest protection. Government also enacted many effective laws for the protection of the forest, and it also employed guards and officers to supervise the area to avoid exploitation of the forest by other people. And next one, social forestry project. People who are living near the forest, they always depend upon the forest, from the firewood to many needed things, many basic things. Okay, so what the government is planning is making them to plant more trees along the forest area, so that they will be able to utilize the forest even more in a much better manner, and also they will become a guardian of the forest. And next one, grasslands. If you take grasslands, these grasslands are present in the area where the rainfall is very less, like 25 to 75 centimeter. Almost 30% of the earth's surface is covered with the grassland. So we are having different types of grasslands and different natures of grasses according to the area where it is present. Like, from if we go from equator to the tropics, we can find a plenty of variety of these type of grasslands. And now, types of grassland. We are having two types of grassland, that is tropical grassland and temperate grassland. First, let us see about the tropical grassland. These tropical grassland are present in the equator region. So, if we go from equator to the hot desert, these tropical grassland varies in their size, and they are having different names in different area, like savanna in Sudan and llanos in Venezuela, campos in Brazil, and parkland in South Africa. And these grasses are actually thick, rough, and tall grasses. They used to grow up to the height of 1.8 to 3 meters of height, and and the height of the grass used to vary when we go from equator to towards the hard desert. It used to shrink because of the less rainfall when we move away from the equator. And next one, temperate grassland. If you take temperate grassland, they are present in the temperate belt, and an average rainfall in that area is around 25 to 75 centimeter, and summer receives more rainfall than the winter season. Here the grasses are very nutritive and very soft, so we used to use those grasses as a fodder for the animals. And in this temperate grasses, we are having two types of grasses, that is steppies and pararis. If you take steppies are shorter grasses, so they used to grow to the height of 10 to 20 centimeter height, which are present in the semi-arid zone, where the rainfall is around 25 to 50 centimeter, and they are less denser than the pararis. And the world's largest steppies grassland are present in the Eastern Europe and Central Asia, in Ukraine and Russia, Kazakhstan, Turkey, and etc. Next one, pararis. Pararis are present in more humid region than the steppies. And here the rainfall is around 40 to 80 centimeter, and the grass height varies from 40 to 60 centimeter. And Pararis grows in the greater plains of North America. So temperate grasslands are known in different names all over the world, like Pampas in Argentina, Wells in South Africa, and Downs in Australia. Next one, tundra vegetation. Tundra vegetations are mountain vegetation, high altitude mountain vegetation. They are present in the tundra regions. Apart from the shrubs and short grasses, they are having mosses and lichens. And here, these type of vegetations are present in the northern hemisphere, including area from North America, Eurasia, and New Zealand. So by this, the first session of this chapter is over. Thank you, class.